Baderak, the priest prays on behalf of the congregation, for himself and for the congregation, that I'm bereft of all good. There's no good in me. Because on our own, we understand as Orthodox Christians that we're incapable of doing good. What makes good possible is the Spirit of God alive and working within us. And when we open ourselves up to that Spirit in us, then we can become the vehicles of excellence. We can become those through which the light of God shines into the world. One of the important realizations in both Judaism and Christianity was this understanding that we are nothing without God. It is only in and through our relationship with God that we can have fullness. Some of you may have heard the story of the priest and the rabbi. They were friends, and one day the rabbi went to visit the priest. The priest was in the church. He wasn't expecting the visit. He was praying. It was before the altar, and he was kneeling, and he was saying, God, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. The rabbi walked in, and he saw this, and he went and he knelt next to the priest, and he opened his hands too. He said, God, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. And the janitor saw this, and he came and he knelt next to them, and he put out his hand. He said, oh God, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. The rabbi turned to the priest and said, look who thinks he's nothing. Because we understand that understanding we are nothing without God is a great spiritual revelation. It's something we're called to keep in our minds. It is that relationship, that connection, that fills our hearts and is to fill our minds as well. But how do we become full of God? How do we become honored, noble dwellings of the Lord? St. Paul addresses that in today's epistle when he says, so shun youthful passions and aim at righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call upon the Lord from a pure heart. So we are to shun those things that we have been taught are sinful. But St. Paul couples that teaching with the importance of doing that along with others who are on the same path. We are pilgrims on a common journey towards a closer relationship with God and towards the kingdom of heaven. This is one of the reasons why God created the church, why he wants us to live in community, so we can help and support one another on this common pilgrimage, on this common journey, to live with like-minded people, St. Paul says, who all want to achieve the same way of life, the same relationship, the same goal of being close to God. We are tempted to live our lives according to the way that the world says. We're tempted to think that excellence is the way the world defines excellence. If we have a certain amount of money, if we have a certain job, if we have a certain position, if we have received certain titles, what have you, then we have become excellent people. But excellence in the sight of God is different than excellence in the sight of the world. God doesn't look at those titles. God looks at our heart. And he wants each of us to have a heart that is inclined towards him because his heart is inclined towards us. His heart is inclined towards you. He wants that mutual communion. He wants that mutual love with you. That's what he values.